I'm going to work in this directory, and as there I just go in. So I have Visual Studio Code and a Node.js installed. I'm working in this directory, C drive users, NSDev, YouTube, and let me create a folder here. I hope you can see the screen. Okay, make directory test1, and then we go to test1. And because we have Node.js installed, we can do a npm. To check if you have npm, just type npm dash dash version. I got something. So let's make a npm folder, npm init dash y. I mean, let me initiate the npm process. Okay, so dash y just gives it the default installation. So with that, we get package.json. Now we will install three.js, npm i3, and to serve npm and to sort of use the libraries, uh, we need to install something called parcel, which we will use to package and run the code. Now, with that setup, so this is going to take some time, not too long, but a little bit of time. And so what we can do, oh, it's done. So, okay, so in our folder, we can, what is it, Explorer, we can see node modules, package JSON log. So if you have Visual Studio Code installed and it's included in your path, you can open it with code, just like this, right click, show more options, open with code. Uh, or else on the terminal, you can type code dot, just like this, and it opens up Visual Studio Code. I want to create a folder called source. In this source, I want to have a file called index.html. And inside of source, we create another folder called JS. And inside of JS, we create a file called, let's say, init 3d.js. Okay. So this is the usual structure. Now package.json has test1, index main is index.js, which we don't have, parcel, and so on. So we don't actually need to use index.js. We won't be constructing a server right now. We just need to serve the file. So what we will do is um, we just create a HTML, let's say h1 hello 3, and then we can do a script source is what script source is js init 3d 3d.js, and the type will be module. So I also don't like the new recent changes, not recent, but they've been going on. But nowadays we can't just include script source from, just include files. It doesn't, it's not the preferred way of doing things. We can't do a script source is equal to 3.min.js or orbit controls. We have to follow certain standards. So we will follow those standards. Okay, and because this is also written in, this is also the way that the three.js developers want to develop. So it's better we get on board with it and follow their uh, ways of working. So here it says that, okay, now we have got init 3D. So we go to import star as 3 from 3. So this 3 is actually going to node modules and 3. Okay. So the other thing that we need, and you will often trip, this point is a little bit of a, it just irritates and what I'm talking about is orbit controls. So orbit controls is actually located in the examples from three examples JSM and controls and orbit controls. So if you do this, then we can get access to orbit controls. Otherwise, we won't get access to our orbit controls. There are a lot of CDNs that have problems. What the orbit controls need is for three to be declared globally, and then it goes and attaches itself there. Okay, so that's orbit controls. So with that, we can actually start developing. So let's try this first. So okay, so to pull up the terminal within your IDE, as you know, Visual Studio Code is super powerful. So we can type control and the backtick next to one. So control and the tick right next to one on your keyboard. That is this one. That. So if we do that, we get this terminal. And here in this terminal, we can do partial. We can do a git bash. I like to do a git bash closer to uh, Linux or Mac. Okay, and then here we can just say npx we run parcel and then it will be source and index.html. Okay, so it has built and we should be able to access our application at this IP. We should not have an error. As you can see, we don't have an error. If we had an error, let's say we did this, we will get an error. So because we don't have an error, we've got the dependencies under control and we are ready to start developing, let's say a box. Okay, let's start with a box. Thank you. Next.